Marvel Comics is finally ready to unleash the last round of comics set during the X-Men's multi-year Krakoan saga. The X-Men's own Professor Xavier has tested the limits of his morality in order to stop the artificial intelligence known as Enigma from going online. My name is Araco Braddock, and today, let's go ahead and see if our X-Men are able to stop Dominion in Rise of the Powers of 10 issue 4. But before we get deeper into the video, I want to encourage you to consider subscribing to the channel. Who is Traitor X? In the aftermath of the greatest betrayal in X-Men history, the Quiet Council in exile must act. They have a plan. Can anyone or anything survive the experience? As the Krakoan Age barrels towards its conclusion, the two series that are one converge on an act that will live in infamy. Rise of the Powers of 10-4 is still written over from Kieron Gillen, featuring artwork from R.B. Silva. We have colors from David Curiel, letters from VC's Clayton, Cowles, and design from Tom Muller and J. Bowen. In addition, here the cover for the issue is still illustrated over from R.B. Silva and David Curiel. Really love how this cover showcases an incredibly desperate Professor Xavier doing anything he can to stop Enigma. One of my favorite parts of the last issue of Marvel Comics' Dead X-Men series was how it did such a wonderful job grounding Askani's character in terms of the overall nature of the X-Men's Krakoan era. Towards Fall of the House of X and Rise of the Powers of 10, it feels like Askani has been through so much assembling her dead X-Men. And after her surprise death in the last installment of the series, just getting the chance to catch up with some of her characterization and her thoughts towards Professor Xavier is so fascinating. Rise of the Powers of 10 has taken on so much plot. It is so smart at this point for Kieron Gillen to take a step back and flesh out the characterization for one of the most important characters across this particular miniseries here. It was also so epic to see some of Enigma's conversations with schemers like Moira McTaggart or Mother Righteous across this tale. It was super interesting to also juxtapose these two conversations as well. It feels like Moira is a lot closer to Enigma than the character of Mother Righteous is at this stage in terms of Marvel's continuity, and I just can't wait to see how both of these plot threads develops as Rise of the Powers of 10 finally ends off towards the Krakoan narrative. I was also really impressed with all the disparate ways that Kieron Gillen has managed the subplot involving Rasputin and the character of Mr. Sinister. I don't want to give it away, but the expansion of Mr. Sinister's scene in Rise of the Powers of 10-4 is just a wonderful expansion of this thread and should hopefully influence some future plot threads as well. So many previous issues of X-Men have been building to the resurrection of the Phoenix character, and I think some of the final instances and plot developments in this issue should finally bring readers closer to the end of the Krakoan era than they've ever been before. Lastly here, there's just something about the color work from David Curiel here that's just propelling each and every scene. There's such striking visual hues of red juxtaposed from Askani's costume or Mother Righteous's skin to just illustrate so much pathos in this issue as well. So at the end of the day here, I really think that Marvel Comics' Rise of the Powers of 10 issue 4 is yet another tremendous series, really pushing some new ground for the X-Men comics. I am so mystified by the way that Rise of the Powers of 10 continues to navigate long-term plotting and paying off so many of the plot threads that were seeded all throughout Immortal X-Men. I want to know from you, what are some of your thoughts on this issue? Did you appreciate Rise of the Powers of 10, Chapter 4 as much as I did? What did you think about Enigma's fraught conversations with characters like Moira McTaggart? Thank you so much for coming to check out our video review on Rise of the Powers of 10, Chapter 4, and we'll be back to see the end of the X-Men's Krakoan era. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.